Good afternoon, welcome back to my channel, and this is going to be a VR to Generation Pixel, and it is the 10 gaming questions VR that's been going around quite a bit now. Loads of folk have done it. I've seen obviously Generation Pixel's done it, Mark Jolly Slasher's done it, Eddie's done it, Rollercola, Ross Bahaha, who else has done it? Retro Beta, loads and loads and loads of folk have done this VR. And it was originally put out by Tony Fighter 2, somebody I didn't really know until the VR started going around, so it's cool to kind of find a new channel to watch. But yeah, we'll jump straight into the questions, and the first question was, what type of games do you like to play? So for me, my favourite kind of games to play is like narrative strong, like narrative driven games, where you're told a story and the production value is all top class. I really enjoy those kind of games. The games that are done mostly by like the PlayStation Studios, so like obviously Last of Us and Uncharted, things like that. What else? Even on like the Xbox with Senua's Sacrifice, I think that's a fantastic game. Looking forward to playing the sequel. I've got the sequel to play at my brother's house. He's got an Xbox Series X something or other, but I think it's digital one he's got, so he's got it on there to play, so I'll nick that off him at some point and play that because it looks absolutely brilliant. Yeah, that's the kind of games that I like to play. I like to be told a story. I like to be led down a linear path, not too linear. I do like a bit of exploration, but I do like a game to hit the beats of a storyline and take me on a journey. That's the kind of games that I like to play. Next question is, how long do you spend playing video games? Like a lot of folks said, there is things kind of vary depending on how busy work is and things like that, and how much life stuff's going on. But generally, I'll play around 3 hours, 4 hours a night. Whenever everyone goes to bed, so when the missus and Jay go to bed, I'll stick on the PlayStation and just play whichever game I'm playing. At the moment, I'm playing quite a few games actually. At the moment, I'm playing Gran Turismo 7, which I did finish because I got the credits, but I'm not going to count it as I finished because it's such a big game. There's so many competitions and tournaments to go into. But I completed the kind of, if you played the game, completed the kind of cafe campaign where it kind of takes you through different kind of competitions, things like that. And I'm also playing Time Splitters Future Perfect and Sea of Stars, which is fantastic. So around about 3 hours a night, three maybe 4 hours a night, I'll play my games. Next question is, do you think games are educational? Absolutely, I really do. I think games can be very educational in the sense of like a lot of games have a lot of problem solving, a lot of puzzles to do, so that kind of gets the old grey matter ticking. What else? Like I think a lot of games also are based on like facts. Like recently playing through Assassin's Creed Mirage. Obviously it's a fictional story, but it's set like a lot of Assassin's Creed. Like, they're all fictional stories, but they're all kind of set in time periods where there's a lot of facts that are going on and things like that. What else? Gran Turismo 7. If you're into your cars, like I'm not a big car nut, I'm not a petrol head or anything like that, but when you're going through the cafe campaigns, you're given like a Nissan GTR kind of campaign to go for. So you got to go and collect 3 Nissan GTRs from various races, and when you place third or better, you win that car. And once you collect the 3 cars, you go back, and then they tell you the history of the Nismo GTR line and all that sort of stuff. And it's really interesting if you're into cars. I'm not really. I just like driving and racing. But yeah, definitely gaming can be educational. And again, it's what you take out of it, I guess. Next question is, what don't I like about gaming? So, from a gaming point of view, things that I don't like in games is big, massive open worlds with lots of tick boxes. And the prime example I'll pick is a game that I played not too long ago, which is Rage 2. Rage 2 is a really good game. Really good shooting, fantastic explosions, like probably the best explosions in a game. They're so good, and the story was pretty cool. You know, it kept it all together. It was a nice wee story, but the world is massive, and then there's like 40 different outposts you can go and clear, like, and then there's 1,000 little things to collect over here. It's just that kind of turns me off in a game. Like I said back in question 1, I like to be led down a kind of path and enjoy a story. I like the game to tell me a story. I like the developers and the creators of a game to tell me what they want to tell me. That's what I like about gaming. So on the flip side, that's what I dislike about big massive open worlds and things like that. And again, I've mentioned Zelda Breath of the Wild a million times, but again, I don't like how they just plonk you into a world and say, go and do what you want. It's like, I don't want to do it. I want you to tell me what to do. I want you to lead me on a story. I want you to lead me on a curated path, and that's why I buy games, and that's why I play games. Is to be led, I guess. So when it's all big open worlds and go and do what you want, that kind of turns me off. I don't really like that. What do I like? Oh, sorry. So that's kind of answered that as well. So kind of answered them two questions at the same time. What do I like? I like to be told a story. I like the creators or the director to tell me exactly what they want to tell me. Yeah, I don't like the do it by yourself kind of thing. Back to what don't I like. So it's not. So this is not really about gaming, but it's more about the gaming channels and YouTube, which is just becoming a bit boring. Not boring, just a bit samey. Like, there's a lot of channels nowadays that just don't even talk about games. Really, they just find something else to talk about, and they kind of copy paste, cookie cutter kind of thumbnails and things like that. And I remember I was on a Mr. Rightway. He was doing a stream once, and then what was it? He was streaming something. It was around about GTA 6's announcement, and I put in the comments, be prepared for all the shock face thumbnails, and then he started talking about that, and I said how it was just so cookie cutter, like everyone does it, like you see all these same thumbnails of people's shocked faces and things. It's just boring. But then he was mentioning how, but it works. And it's like, but I don't really understand what it means by. I understand what he means by it works, it gets the views. But if you're just doing YouTube just to get views, then you've lost all your passion. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not particularly talking about games. You're just seeing if your next video can get more clicks than the last video. It's just it doesn't. That's the really kind of downside of gaming recently, is the YouTube channels. A lot of YouTube channels that are following these kind of guidelines that appease the algorithm just to get clicks, but you're not getting meaningful clicks. You don't get comments, and I don't know. It just really grates on you after a while, and it's a bit tedious. So just finished the video there. I just remembered something I wanted to put in as well about the dislike kind of thing. It's another dislike on the YouTube kind of side, not YouTube side, the social media side, so YouTube or Twitter or whatever. You see a lot of people complaining about games are not original anymore, and nobody takes risks. There's no new games coming out, it's all sequels, it's all remasters. That really grinds on me as well, because whenever the games do kind of come out, they do take risks, or they do try something different. It's a different world. It's a different world. If their games don't perform, they're done. The companies are done. The game's done. The prime example recently is Concord. Like, it's not a game for me. As soon as when I watched the reveal trailer for Concord, I thought it looked really cool. It had a kind of Guardians of the Galaxy kind of vibe. The kind of the cinematic of it. I thought this is cool. This could be good. But then the gameplay started to be shown, and it was a hero shooter, and that's no for me, so that's why I didn't follow that game. But again, this is the kind of game that people are asking for. The people are asking for something new, something different, but they don't back it. That's the thing as well, where they don't embrace it. Another one recently that I was talking to a couple of guys about was Death Stranding. Again, a new game, a new IP. It's a bit old now, but that was a game that kind of came out of nowhere. They tried something different, and then a lot of people were like, "Nah, it's no good." But these are the kind of games that are taking the risks. These are the games that are trying something new. And like I said, in this business now, like, if it doesn't work, if it falls flat, they're done. These companies are done. It's no fair. So that's why they do kind of stay with remasters and remakes and things like that. But I mean, a lot of people that do ask for this or complain about this on Twitter or whatever, and they're all saying, "Oh, we want new games, we want this." But then you ask them what their favourite game is, and I guarantee they'll say something like Streets of Rage 2, it's a sequel. Super Mario 3, which is a sequel. Like, they'll say all these games, or they'll say like Breath of the Wild, which is, you know, like, mental. Like, they'll complain about no originality, but then their favourite games are literally sequels or remade games or whatever. But anyway, that's just a little thing that just popped into my head there as I was finishing the video. Cheers, guys. Anyway, that was a wee bit of a rant. I'll move on. How much do you spend on gaming? So monthly, I look at spending up to £100 to £150. I think that's my kind of limit. Once I go over 100, then I start to really become particular, and I start to slow down a wee bit. Especially if it's the first week of the month and I'm up at 100 already. That kind of scares me. But I do like to go to the second-hand shops, and I do like to look for deals on eBay and Facebook. And now and again I will buy brand new releases. But yeah, like a prime example was recently I was on the 52 game the 52 game challenge. We did our stream not long ago on John Bundy's channel, which was a great stream. He did a fantastic job with it. And our next game in the 52 game challenge is going to be Voodoo Vince on the Xbox. And after the stream I went onto eBay and I found somebody selling it for £7 something, with £3 delivery. So it was going to be just over a tenner. And that's kind of like the going price of it anyway, like £12 on CEX. But I am so cheap that I put in an offer of £5. And then I was playing GTA 7 with my headset on, my VR headset on, and I took the VR headset off and I received a message from him. But by the time I read the message, somebody else had already bought it for the £7 asking price, and that was Eddie Rollercore. I was absolutely raging. I was like, "You fucker." So he beat me to that, and he just said I shouldn't be so cheap. And he's probably right. For the difference of like an extra £2, I was just trying to get it for a £5. That didn't work. So 100 to 150. That's my kind of ceiling. What's my favourite console or the best console? I think Pixel touched on this as well. And like Mark as well, it's going to be a PlayStation for sure. One of the PlayStations they are just the best, man. But Pixel touched on this, that the best console, like technically kind of thing, would be the PlayStation 3, the backwards compatible one. That's one console I really still want to get. Got a PS3, I had a backwards compatible one that died, I was raging. But yeah, the PS3 backwards compatible, playing PS1, PS2, PS3, it was just the complete package, it was fantastic. But recently I think my favourite console at the moment is the PlayStation 5. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I think controllers are brilliant. The haptic feedback and things like that. And I'm talking about GT7 quite a bit here, but when I was playing GT7, you accelerate on your brake, and there's a lot of resistance in the triggers, because when you're going around corners and things like that, you can really feel pulling the brakes and things. The controller's just absolutely fantastic. But also the games, a lot of people are saying there's no games in the PS5. I absolutely hate that. I hate that. Really does my box in. It really does my head in. People complaining about no games in the PS5. It's just, a lot of people complain about modern, about the loading times and all this sort of stuff. Not the loading times, the download times and stuff like this. Like it's just so annoying. Like the modern gaming for me is by far the best, and that kind of answers another kind of VR going about at the moment. But I'd like to do that VR at some point when I get some time. But yeah, my favourite console at the moment, at this precise moment, is PlayStation 5. I think it's absolutely brilliant. And as I'm shooting this, there's going to be a PlayStation Tech stream tonight by Mike Cherney. So it's interesting to see what there's a lot of rumours going around that they're going to announce the PS5 Pro, and that's going to be backwards compatible with all PlayStations, which I don't think is true. I think it's just a Twitter rumour going around, but that'd be really, really cool. Can you imagine a PS5 where you can slip in a PS1 disc, a PS2 disc, a PS3 disc, a PS4 disc, a PS5 disc? That would just be the dream. That would be the dream machine. But again, I think that's just Twitter rumours. I don't think there's any truth in that. PS5, that's the best console at the moment. Best movie based on video games. So there's a lot of good ones out there, especially recently. There's been a whole ton of good movie video games, like the Mario movie, fantastic, great fun. The Sonic ones, I've really enjoyed the Sonic ones as well. But I think for me, I really, really, really loved the Silent Hill movie. I thought it was fantastic. Even the missus loves it, and she doesn't really play games and anything like that. But the film's so cool, and they've kept it really true to the kind of first game, second game kind of thing, with all the kind of fog and everything, and then the nurses, and then Pyramid Head. I just think the Silent Hill movie is fantastic. The sequel wasn't that good though, Revelations. I didn't really like that. The one with Jon Snow in it, I didn't really like that one. It wasn't too bad, but it's not a patch on the first one. Favourite game character? There's so many. Honestly, there's so many, like, from different kind of angles. Like Joel's a fantastic example. I think a lot of folk have said Joel. Kratos as well. I loved Kratos' transition throughout the game. So obviously you've got the original trilogy and the PS3, then you've got the PSP games where he's just this big angry machine, and then you go into the 2018 God of War, and then Ragnarok, where he's a bit more subdued and he's a dad and everything. And I really, really thought that was fantastically done. But I think my best character would have to be somebody like Solid Snake, like just that action hero that you grew up watching, like in a game form. He was just fantastic, and it was really, like, a lot of people kind of gave it a stick at the time with Metal Gear Solid 2. I thought that was really cool because you didn't play Solid Snake obviously, but you got to see Solid Snake from a different angle. So you got to see him as Iroquois Pliskin, but you seen things that he was doing and the kind of effects that he had in the kind of environment and story and everything like that. But I think Solid Snake is just probably the best character because he's just so bloody cool and just reminds you of all the kind of action heroes back in the 90s and 80s or whatever, like the kind of movies you watched as you grew up. Solid Snake, he's the one. And what kind of games? The last question is, what kind of games do I dislike? I'm trying to think. Sim kind of games. I don't really like sim games, like world building things, like, and I know they're fantastic games. I know loads of people love them. I know my pal, he really loves them, like civilization games and Sim City games, theme park, all those kind of games. I don't really like. I just don't really have time for them. Yeah, I don't really like them. I don't know why. I just don't think they're exciting. You don't really get engrossed in them. Obviously, I just don't think. Nah, sim games. I don't really like sim games. Not turn based. I do like turn based. Tactical turn based. So like the ones with the big grids and things like that. They're just too long, man. Like I was playing at the beginning of the year. I put a bit of time into it, quite a bit of time, and it was a really cool game. It was Project X Zone on the DS. fantastic game, and it's just so cool with all the different brands coming together. Like you've got Capcom, Namco, and Namco is it? I think it's like PlayStation. I can't remember. Nintendo. Anyway, they're all in there. You've got Ryu. You've got Jin from Tekken. It's like a turn-based RPG, kind of big, massive. I don't know, like big, massive fights, but tactically turn-based, and it's good. It's a really good game. But it takes forever, man. It takes forever, and even like some of the skirmishes, some of the matches, they just take donkeys to get to the end. And if you die, man, you go all the way back to the beginning. It's just aye, those games are a bit. Yeah, I'm not into them. But I used to like them. I used to like Command and Conquers. I used to love Command and Conquers back in the day. Front Mission 3, fantastic game. But again, I don't think I could go back to it now. I think it's just because I'm getting older and grumpier, and yeah, those are the kind of games that I don't really like. I think that's it. I think that answers all the questions. Anyway, we're meant to be tagging people in this, so I kind of want to take it kind of back old school, kind of when I first started YouTube. There was always like VRs kicking around, the community was always talking to each other, and it was just a really cool place to be. And then things kind of got splintered and things like that, which is fine. Things, people move on and people move away and whatever it is, but I want to kind of take it back. So I'm going to tag the Retro5 in this. So I want to see all of them guys do a VR. Because I've not seen a lot of them in a while doing mini videos. I hope they kind of. I've seen Scott Zigga Zombie just came back, done a couple of videos there. His pickups, an update. Lee Near the Geezer's doing quite a few. I've not seen Chef in a while, so it'd be good to see if they can all do a VR to these 10 gaming questions. Cheers, guys.